Oh, yeah. Beautiful blurb. That was not meant to be on record right now. Oh, it's recording! Ha! Wonderful. Yeah, Laura, have fun with that one. Welcome to the 1 year in Vietnam vlog. Put a trailer here with some music and some Vietnam photos. In Vietnam for 2 months, and it was announced that borders would close, and it was announced that we would go into lockdown, and it was announced that, you know, the world's not going to be the same anymore. That's when all of my digital nomad friends that were in Bali or lived in Mexico or wherever went home. Everybody frantically purchased a flight ticket because nobody knew for how long borders would be closed. If I would have known, my goodness, I didn't. I thought it was gonna be a couple of weeks or months. 1 year later, and we didn't have a home, which was the coolest thing for the longest time, but then it was not so cool anymore. That was not the easiest time, but in the end we decided we were gonna stay in Vietnam, and it was the best decision ever. So here we are, 13 months later, still in Vietnam. It's been a blessing. I honestly wouldn't want to swap. There's no place in the world where I'd rather be. We got extremely lucky with how Vietnam has been handling the pandemic. We have been COVID-free for most of the time of the year. We had a couple of very, very strict lockdowns, like serious lockdowns. But most of the time we were able to travel, to explore, to move to different places. We thought it's time for a summary video of 1 year in Vietnam, which was absolutely not the plan. We started in Saigon. We had a beautiful apartment, we found it on Airbnb. We lived in Thao Dien, which was a really lovely area with cafes and expats, and we volunteered at a dog shelter, which was heartbreakingly awesome.
Look cute, so people want to adopt you. They do want to adopt you. Huh? 3 bowls for 3 dogs. Okay, can we do this? There's a 3rd bowl. Yeah.
And it felt really, really good. But for whatever reason, things didn't fall into place for us in Saigon. I wanted to extend the apartment and it didn't work. Then I wanted to get into another really nice apartment block and we couldn't get in. Turned out later that there was a COVID case in this apartment block and they had to shut it down completely. So after, I think, 6 weeks, we left Saigon and took the train to Nha Trang. I hope they don't have a policy with 1 bag allowed or something.
So here we are, ready to go. Where are we going?
Go to Nha Trang by train.
Yeah.
Nha Trang was interesting, but it wasn't a place I really wanted to settle and live. We are looking for a breakfast that is not including fishy Asian things.
I could stay here a couple of weeks, but not longer.
Not forever. It's a tourist place.
And it doesn't have a lot of variety as far as
Western food.
Or
things to do.
Yeah, other things to do.
So we explored the tourist attractions, went to a fun park, did a mud bath, but then we moved on to Da Nang. The plan was to stay in Da Nang for 10 days, then fly to Singapore where we had a pet sit lined up, and then fly back to Australia to go to a Tony Robbins event. And the universe was laughing at my plan. In Da Nang, things got serious. We did the first lockdown in Vietnam in Da Nang. We did our 2nd lockdown in Vietnam in Da Nang. And I've just spent a lot of time in one apartment in Da Nang. We lived at Prana in Da Nang for 6 months. And I loved it, but at the end, I was done with it. But that was not Da Nang's fault. That was just, I haven't stayed in one place for 6 months since 2016. For me, that was a long time, and this whole lockdown thing wasn't super easy for me. When the 2nd lockdown was over, we took our bags and went right off.
We're leaving our home in Da Nang for first time in 6 months.
And they made us a cake, like a huge goodbye cake.
We got a massive goodbye cake.
That was so sad. They did so much for us.
We're on the way. And we're just, we managed to get everything in the car, which was a struggle.
We went to Hoi An for a bit, so we don't have to say we come from Da Nang anymore, because Da Nang was really not super popular because they had cases there a couple of weeks ago. Like, that was why the lockdown was there, yada yada yada. Anyway, we had like an in-between stop in Hoi An and then flew to Hanoi. Hanoi, Hanoi. Hanoi is always an interesting one for me. 3 years ago I wanted to live in Hanoi for 6 months. How things are lining up. And I wasn't happy in Hanoi. I was struggling in Hanoi with the traffic. It was loud, it was gray, it was busy. Oh my god, it was too much for me back then. And that's why I was not so sure about Hanoi. But actually we had a really good time in Hanoi. We found a great apartment and decided to stay for 2 months in Hanoi. We traveled to Sapa. Oh my goodness, beautiful footage from Sapa.
Yay! We're going to
Good morning.
Sapa!
That's the one. Yeah, Sapa.
It was a tourist destination with no tourists, so very special, but also a bit weird and always a bit hard to find food and stuff like that. I also forgot the trip to Ninh Binh.
Where are we going this weekend?
Ninh Binh!
Ninh Binh!
Let's go!
Alright!
North of Vietnam was amazing. I loved all the trips we did from Hanoi. We went to Ha Long Bay on a cruise for Andy's birthday.
No one can do it like you.
I got engaged in Hoi An. That was surely my highlight of the year 2020. Birthday surprise trip, and then a big box. And when I opened the box, a balloon came out that said, "Will you marry me?" Vietnam has been treating me very well. And then winter came. Well, winter, not so much my thing. And then we flew to Phu Quoc. Now we've lived in Phu Quoc for 2 months. Back at the 5-star hotel that we started at, we did a lot of hotel hopping here on Phu Quoc. It's one of our favorite islands in the world, and I really wanted to come back here and stay for a while. However, it hasn't been super easy. So because of the pandemic, all the small shops and street vendors and little restaurants are not there anymore. That was pretty sad to see. So the only companies that actually really survived and are still thriving in the pandemic here on Phu Quoc Island are the fancy hotels. I love fancy hotels, but I also really love the local life. And that was very sad to see, I have to say. It also made it a bit harder to be on Phu Quoc, not as a tourist, but as a digital nomad. So tourists go into a hotel, they eat at the hotel, sleep at the hotel, do everything at the hotel, and after 1 week they fly back to where they come from. And we were asked everywhere we went, where do you live? Do you live in Ho Chi Minh or in Hanoi? And we're like, well, no, we now live here. We took all of our stuff. We are traveling with 3 suitcases and we're now here. And nobody could believe it. We also didn't meet anyone else who actually permanently lives here. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but we're going back to Da Nang now.
What's there to say? There's nothing but space in between you and I. It's okay that we change, but it feels kinda strange that you're not.
Where are we?
Back to Da Nang.
We're back to Da Nang, people! Empty plane, but it's all good. There's like 20 people.
Love that I've ever known, but we turn into a flower that never grows. I
streets of Da Nang.
Đi tiếp quốc lộ 11 bên 1,5 km nữa.
Time. I should have told you that I loved you one more time.
What do we have here?
They didn't have one bedroom for the longest time, and that was one of the big reasons why we didn't want to stay here long term. And now they rebuilt it.
Yes. And look what they left us here. Welcome. A&S.
Oh, that's amazing.
Would you have stayed if
It's the Alps. It's the year of the Alps. Alps. Alps and Alps.
Who knows what's gonna happen? We have time. I got a new German passport and we'll just wait it out. Again, I have no interest to jump headfirst into any country with the pandemic being very active. We don't have to be anywhere. We're very, very, very blessed that Dream Life Deluxe is providing 2 full-time incomes for me and my partner and our team, and then we can work from anywhere, do what we love, and literally decide where we want to be in this pandemic, which I know not many people have this freedom of choice right now, which I'm very, very grateful for. I hope you enjoyed this summary of 1 year in Vietnam. I hope we're not going to do a video of 2 years in Vietnam soon. If you want to follow along and see what's going to happen next, follow the channel. Usually we do 1 vlog per destination. There is 1 vlog where we lived on the alpaca farm. There is 1 vlog, there's lots of Vietnam vlogs because that's where I've been most of the time recently. And I wish you a beautiful 2021. May the world get back to normal. Keep your head high.
I should have told you that I loved you one more time. One